Welcome to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network with your hostess, Jen Josie. Join like-minded real estate investors and accelerate your business towards greatness. You will hear step-by-step strategies for success, interviews with real estate rock stars, and we will dig deep into past projects where we bear it all, including the good, the bad, and some just plain ugly. So get excited. Here's the bestower of badassery herself, the real Jen Josie. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Jen Josie, creator of RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Whoop, whoop. On today's episode, we have a super special guest that will be sharing their badassery. But before we begin, here's today's badassery bestowment, my little badass gift to you. Today's topic is learning to go from no to next. I gotta say, rejection was a tough pill to swallow when I first started in the real estate investment world. There were times where I could have easily given up, like the time I sent marketing letters to an entire neighborhood and I received a call from a woman screaming at me, telling me to stop sending her letters. P.S. It was the first letter I ever sent her. Or the time we got outbidded by only $500 for a super swanky condo in the hottest part of town. Or the time we were trying to finance our first deal and all the hard money lenders kept telling us no. I had to learn quickly that when I heard no, I had to replace it with next. Here are some famous rejections where folks ignored the no and went with the next. Julie Andrews, who played the lead in Broadway's My Fair Lady, was rejected for the big screen version because she didn't have, quote, a movie star face. So instead, she accepted the lead role in a movie, maybe you've heard of it, Mary Poppins, which won her an Academy Award for Best Actress. Honestly, I can't imagine anyone else offering me a spoonful of sugar. Next, Thomas Edison made 1,000 unsuccessful attempts at inventing the light bulb. Happily for the night owls across the globe, attempting 1,001 was a success. You light up my life, Mr. Edison. Next. Due to poor grades in high school, Steven Spielberg was rejected from the University of Southern California 3 times. 27 years later, he was awarded an honorary degree at the same university. Talk about close encounters. Next, once you accept that a no is actually a next, there's no stopping you. Here are 5 tips to get you closer to that yes. Number 1. Ask as if you expect to get it. Believe with your whole heart that you already have that yes. Number 2, assume you can. Assume you're going to get that front parking spot. Assume you can get that sales bonus. Assume the buyers are going to accept your offer. Never assume you can't get it. Number 3, ask someone who can give it to you. If that person can't give it to you, ask who they know that can. Number 4, be clear and specific. Don't say, will you lend me some money on this deal? Do say, I want to pay you 10% interest on your $30,000 over the next 4 months. Number 5, ask repeatedly. Persistence is key. Kids are pros at this. They will ask over and over and over again. So next time you hear a no, replace it with a next and keep moving towards that yes. Now, on to today's episode of the Real Estate Investor Growth Network podcast. We have with us Amanda Williams. Amanda, also known as Amanda the Traveling Realtor, has been involved with real estate since 2008. She has been a private money lender for fix and flip deals, flipped homes herself, bought and sold homes on lease options subject to and owner finance deals, and has been a licensed realtor in North Carolina since 2013, serving both buyers and sellers. She currently owns Carolina Furnished Rentals, which is a short-term and mid-term furnished rental company, and helps other agents reach their goals in real estate brokerages and investments through teaching about passive income. Amanda is a public speaker and hosts numerous events every month for investors, business owners, and realtors. Her passion is traveling the world and teaching people how to generate multiple streams of income through real estate. I am honored to call her friend, so welcome to the show, Amanda Williams.
Thank you, Jen. Wow, that was a really cool intro. I appreciate that. And I love all your badassery stuff at the beginning.
That was a long one. Sorry.
It was perfect.
I found all that fun stuff about Julie Andrews, and I was like, oh, I got to put that in there. So anyway, I'm so happy to have you. And I know you love to travel, but it's funny because I've been traveling, and my last two big travel places, destinations, you've been at. So I hung out with you in Cabo and recently in Cancun. So thank you so much. Finally getting you on the show. So tell the listeners a little bit about Amanda, the Traveling Realtor.
Yeah, sure. So I've just been traveling for the last 2 years. I love traveling, and I think I'm really blessed and thankful to have found a way to be able to marry my two passions, which is real estate and travel, together and figure out how to just make this happen.
And you have a very awesome travel partner too. So shout out to our boy, Alex. Yes, he's a good guy. So you are like the biggest risk taker I know. And I know we're going to talk about some other things, but you blow my mind in that you just jump in at things that people haven't even thought of. And you're always like 2 years ahead of everybody. It blows my mind. So tell me a few things that you've done where you started early and then it just blew up and you knew from the beginning that this was a golden opportunity.
Well, I think there's been a lot of things. I'm one of those early adapters. And from the books that I read, I think only 2% of the population are actually early adapters. Meaning you see something and you're like, well, what the hell? Like, why not? Like, what's the worst that can happen? That's the question I ask myself when I'm looking at something. I'm like, well, what is the absolute worst that can happen? You know, I did it when I moved out to LA. I didn't know anyone. I was all alone. I did it when I got my real estate license. I did it when I started my own real estate firm, and then EXP came along and I'm like, well, dang, I just started my firm, but what's the worst that can happen? I could go with this little company that no one knows about, and people are calling it the cartoon company, right? Because it looked like a cartoon character. It is built on that platform, not cartoons, but video games. And I said,
I did not know that. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's built on it's called Verbella. It's a video gaming software company.
And EXP, talk about it, because you got in early and you have grown so much in this company. What agent number were you, or agency, or whatever it was?
I was agent 3010.
And how many are there now?
We hit 65,000 last week.
Wow. And then you turned your agency into that, correct? An EXP one?
Well, the cool thing about that is I didn't have to drop my name or my branding or anything like that. So I kept my company. My company is AG Williams Realty. And all I had to do was just put EXP at the bottom of that. And now I'm just, I'm still branding my company, but EXP has given me all the tools and systems and just ownership in a much bigger firm than just me and my little company in my little town of Raleigh. Now I'm an owner in a company in 18 countries.
Oh my goodness. So, okay. That's mind blowing to me. So I am a coach and I have a lot of students. I don't have my real estate license, but a lot of students are getting their real estate license and they're looking at EXP. And tell listeners why it's a benefit to join EXP versus the other big name companies.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, gosh, there's so many benefits, but some benefits don't really match some of the agents out there, right? So, the biggest benefits for me was to be able to build a team, pour into my people, help them sell more houses, and participate in the revenue share, which I consider referrals. So I'm getting paid about 60 to 70 referral fees every month right now.
Wow.
Through helping my agents sell more houses. So I love that. That was probably the biggest reason that I came over, because I didn't want to stay local. I wanted to go global. And that's a huge benefit. And then, of course, you have ownership in the firm, the stock, and all that. But I'll tell you, all of that's wonderful. But I think the biggest benefit, and you don't see this if you're not a part of it, but it's the collaboration. And it's the ability to have conversations with top agents across the world. And we all want to help each other. We all want to help each other grow because we all own this company together. And so the better we all do, then the more our stock goes up. And there's a reason why there's a hashtag EXP in there, because EXP stock is making agents millionaires.
That is awesome. I think one of my favorite things about EXP is that you are completely virtual, correct?
Yes. Yep. I'm 100% remote.
And that helps with, overhead costs and things like that, correct?
Yes.
And you hear these big names that are switching to EXP. Like I coach for Tarek El Moussa. He is an EXP agent. Than Merrill is an EXP agent. So a lot of people can join under them, correct? And that builds his program, or?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it really, you can pick and choose. It's really about who's told you about the company, who's helped you make that decision, all that stuff. But you join and you do have to list someone as sponsor. You can't just go directly to EXP Corporate and join. You have to have a sponsor, someone who's going to say, yeah, this person's legit, right? And then at that point, you go into their organization, and then whatever, they offer you, like we have coaches and trainers and onboarders and like all kinds of stuff in our group. So yeah, absolutely.
Do you have to be local to that sponsor?
No, I have, oh my gosh. I've sponsored agents in like 20 states at this point. And then I'm in 4 countries. I've personally sponsored agents in 3 countries.
Wow. That is awesome. What a great company. And you, Smarty Pants, saw this way, way, way back in the very beginning. And I love that about you.
But I didn't I thought it was cool. I was like, this might be something. But like, again, what's the worst that can happen? Like, well, the company could go belly up and I still own my real estate firm.
That very good point. So continuing with that, what are some other decisions you've made? I know you have a place in Belize. Is that true?
That is true. Okay. It'll be done in like February or March.
And how does that going to work?
Yeah, so that's a straight up short-term rental property. So that's going to be on Airbnb, VRBO, all the channels. And it's an overwater bungalow. And it's right off of Ambergris Caye, which is like San Pedro, which is one of the main tourist areas of Belize. And so they finance 80%. I'm friends with the developer. And it's going to be a great little return over there for just straight up vacation rentals.
That is amazing. So cool that you can do that. And you can just stay there whenever you want to, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Tough life you got there, Amanda. All right. I also want to hear more about your Carolina Furnished Rentals. And you have in your bio here that it is a short-term and midterm. What the heck is midterm? I don't even know what that means.
So when we moved to Cabo last year, these agents here were talking about, oh yeah, this is a midterm rental, because I was looking for something. I wanted to rent something for 4 months. And they're like, oh, that's a midterm. I'm like, what's a midterm? So I completely stole their verbiage from Cabo. And so midterm for us is a 30-day rental. So we are doing 30, 60, 90-day stays. And we are using these properties to really market to relocation clients from coming, from different areas, mostly California at this point. And they're coming in and they're staying in our properties. And we've rolled out our Live Like a Local program. So they can come in and they can stay in, different areas around Raleigh. We have Clayton, we have Cary, we have Chapel Hill, everywhere. And they can get a true feel for where they want to live and the community they want to be in. And then once they know the area, then I'll partner up them with one of our agents that knows that area well as well. And then they're able to work with that agent. We get a referral fee as well from the agent. And our clients are super happy because they're not getting pushed into a property just because of the property. And they have no idea about the neighborhood or the local grocery store or anything like that.
And here you are again, jumping on opportunities like that. And what a great idea for people coming in wanting to check out an area. What did you call it again? Get to know, what was it?
Yeah, live like a local.
Live like a local. I love that. That is so awesome. And where I'm currently living, we're going to turn into a 30, 60, 90 days. So I know now to call it a midterm rental. So I remember you telling me about you had some long-term rentals and then you started switching over to short-term rentals. So tell me a little bit about the difference there.
Yeah, so we bought the majority of our long-term rentals were purchased in like 2015, and 9 of them were purchased on owner finance deals that year. And so we put out a lot of money. We were doing anywhere from, I think our lowest down payment was $7,000 and our highest was $45,000. So we spent a lot of money in 2015 to purchase all of these properties, close to $300,000 cash. And so that $300,000 was bringing us in around $3,500 to $4,000 a month in cash flow, passive income. That was on 15. We were up to 15 properties. And so that was great. We thought that was our retirement plan. And then my dad got sick. I feel like this happens a lot in life for us. And I'm just aware of it at this point. So I'm always looking for it, but life pushes you in a certain direction and you just have to be aware enough to say, why is this happening?
Right.
And so my dad got sick. He got cancer. We ended up taking him down to Tijuana, Mexico for some alternative cancer therapy. And we said, you know what, let's just throw our house on Airbnb. We don't really know how long we're going to be gone. And we did. And we made more money in the first 2 weeks that first 2 weeks of renting our house paid for our mortgage, all of our utilities, and it paid for our condo in Mexico that we were renting.
Wow.
And so at that point, Alex and I looked at each other and we're like, why are we we're flipping houses. We're doing all of this stuff. And so we had 2 flips in the process. We changed all of the plans and we said, we're not selling those properties. We are going to cash out. We're going to pay off our private money lenders. We're going to do a cash out refi, and we're going to keep those properties as short-term rentals and put them on Airbnb. So we did that. And by the time we got home, we had 4 properties that were Airbnbs. And then from that point, we were still buying. So we were still investing money. Okay. This is a big, big learning lesson. And then on our 5th property, I discovered something called rental arbitrage.
Yep.
Meaning you don't actually have to buy the property. You can rent the property from a landlord on a master lease, and then you can turn around and sublease that property out to your clients. And
with their permission, of course.
Oh, yes, 100%. The landlord knows what we're doing. Our pitch to them is, completely out in the open. They know we own a real estate brokerage. They know we're using these for our clients and we're marketing them for, relocation clients. And so we were able to scale another 9 short-term properties that we did not own that first year that we were in Airbnb when we got home. So that we scaled that up to 15 properties as well. I don't know why 15 is like our lucky number. But that tripled our cash flow. So we went from like $3,500 to $4,000 to now we're at almost $15,000 a month in cash flow on these 15 properties.
Wow. That is amazing. And I remember you going through this transition and doing all this. And again, looking at opportunity here, you turned it into a course, didn't you? Don't you teach this now?
Yes, we did. Yeah, I had so many people asking me. I was just like,
me included. I was like, what is she doing now? Let me see what she's up to. So go ahead. So you created this course.
Yeah, start to finish. It goes from, the course has everything. We've actually put all of our scripts, our landlord letters, the email templates, the messaging templates, how to find the properties, how to list the properties, how to set up the properties, the lease, the master lease, we had the attorney write, the short-term lease that we had our attorney write. So literally we've just put everything in the course, because I also give the course to all of the agents in my EXP organization as well, because I was having a lot of them wanting to do this. So between us and my agents that I've taught how to do this in Raleigh, I believe we're representing 38 properties in Raleigh right now.
That is awesome. And how do people find this course?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm Amanda the Traveling Realtor on everything, but if you go to amandathetravelingrealtor.com, there's a lot of information. I'll send you my card link. I have a lot of freebies, and I have a webinar I've done and all kinds of stuff. I give away a lot of free stuff just so that you guys can watch it and see if, is this something that you really want to dive into? Because it's not easy. You got to focus on this to get this thing running, but once you get it running, it just rolls.
And again, opportunity, which I love about you. I loved how you started renting these and you would get the landlord in on it and you would say, we are getting it professionally cleaned multiple times a month. And so many people just stop at the long-term rentals. They think exactly what you said. It's their retirement plan. They get these rentals and then there's depreciation or appreciation, of the property. You're paying less and less per month, and that's a retirement for some people. But for you, you tripled it by doing this. And that's so amazing. And I love that you created the course because you are one of those people who continually give back. And I'm going to be sharing this in the show notes. So everyone make sure you check it out. So another thing that you just started recently that I'm super excited to hear about is you bought a residency. People, I don't know where she finds this stuff. You bought a residency on a cruise ship, correct?
Kind of, yeah.
What in the world?
So it's another new concept. It's called a residency at sea, and it's a community of 627 families that will be living on a ship for however long you want to live on the ship for. We bought 12 years. You can actually buy the entire unit forever, but we did a 12-year lease on it. And then we have up until 10 years to actually just like purchase it outright, but we want to kind of test the waters a little bit. So
because what have you got to lose, right?
Yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly.
So yeah, we bought this, and I've got it calculated to where if we only travel 3 months a year, then that's going to be kind of a break even for us. Okay. As far as, we'll be able to rent it out 9 months, travel for 3 months. Who knows? I mean, we may stay on it. It's going to take 3 years to go completely around the world. This boat goes around the world, by the way. So let me explain the boat. So the boat has the 627 units in it, anywhere from a 1-bedroom to a 5-bedroom. And there's, everything. We grow all of our own vegetables on the boat. There's a dog park. There's a school. Literally a community at sea. And so it's not a normal cruise ship type of situation. There's 20 restaurants on it, but there's also 4 kitchens per deck. So we can use the kitchens, we can cook together, we can have our own kitchen, whatever you want to do. I've also got, my unit is right beside the working area. So I have my office and my little co-working area. And I love that because there's like a YouTube room, media room where I can do all my videos and trainings. And it's every port that we're at, we're staying for 3 to 5 days. So it's not like, on and off the boat today and today only. We're actually able to stay there for a few days, which is really cool because one of our goals with EXP is in the next 10 years, we are going to be in 100 countries with 1 million agents.
Wow.
So my plan is for many of these ports that we're at, I'm going to be getting off. I'm going to be in the community. I'm going to be doing EXP presentations for the agents in all of these countries and helping them create their passive income and create their careers within the EXP umbrella.
Always giving back. That's what I love about you, girl. So can you share some numbers with us? How much is all this costing?
Sure. So the one that we got a 1-bedroom. I don't know if I'm really supposed to share all the numbers, but let's just say it's around $900,000 for the 12-year lease on it. If you were to buy it outright, I think it was like 2.6 or something like that. We are putting down 20% this year and then 20% next year. And then they're financing the other 60%. And then to be on the boat, it's going to cost us about $15,000 a month. That's going to cover the mortgage on the property, on the unit, and also all of the HOA and maintenance. And what's really cool is that covers all of our food, drinks, personal trainer, massages, hair care, cleaning, everything. Laundry. They're
Oh
going
my
to do my
gosh.
laundry. Yeah, so that covers everything. That you literally only need money when we're on the boat, whenever we go into the country, like if we want to eat in the country or stay in the country or whatever. That's the only reason why we need cash.
And then what can you rent it for?
So they're saying that it's going to rent for between $30,000 to $40,000 a month.
So when you were first telling me this, I'm like, I can't imagine possibly going away for an entire month. But you mentioned dog park, so that's okay. I can bring the dogs. But imagine the people who can afford this and the high level of entrepreneurship, of thinkers, and that you are surrounding yourself with. What an awesome, awesome opportunity. So are all 600, what'd you say, 627? Are they all sold and or booked or okay?
No, they just started selling these. The ship hasn't even been built yet. This isn't going to set sail. We're not going to start this journey until 2024.
Wow.
So I think there's only been like 100 and I don't know, 120 units sold. They literally 4 months ago they started selling them. And so yeah, I mean that's that you just hit the nail on the head. It's about the people you're surrounding yourself with. And that's what Alex and I said. We said, you know what? This is a great opportunity to get into all of these countries, which we were going to do anyway, but we were going to like buy our own boat and travel around. But like, what fun is that when you can be surrounded by all these other amazing people? But think about like the conversations that you're going to have with these other people who are able to afford this lifestyle.
Right.
There's no drama. There's no talking about other people. There's no low life stuff. It's all high level conversation. These are business owners. These are people who are thinking outside of the box. And that's who I want to surround myself with.
I love that. And you know, you are one of those people for me that I like to surround myself with. I came out and stayed with you out in Cabo. It was the hottest freaking weekend of the year. I have never sweated. So I think I lost 12 pounds just sweating. But I appreciate you so much. And we went to Cancun as well, and another opportunity where you surround yourself with these higher level thinkers. But this scale is so much higher. So cool. I love that you are taking these leaps of faith and doing this, and awesome, awesome. Do you have anything else on your plate that I don't know about? I mean, you're always into something. And by the way, listeners, you are on an episode of Below Deck, right?
Yes.
And you're also with these higher level thinker people, and there's Amanda jumping in an opportunity and getting in with the, the certain networks that we've been looking at, that you've been looking at. So I love that. Anything else you have on your plate?
Yeah. I mean, it's whatever you think about, you can bring about. And as long as you keep that mindset, like what's the limit? There is no limit. The sky's not even the limit. You can do anything.
That is awesome. So you heard my badassery bestowment. Do you have a badassery bestowment that you can share with our listeners?
What would that be? Give me an idea.
Well, you wrote on here.
Oh,
Find a coach, a mentor. So,
oh yeah. I forgot about that.
So let me start it
Yeah.
again. So being that you are such a badass, would you be willing to share a badassery bestowment with our listeners?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is finding someone who's done what you want to do. Finding a coach or a mentor or someone that you trust, and making sure that they actually have done those things, or they have those things, or they have that lifestyle. All too many times people make the mistake of hiring a coach, and that coach really is not living the life that you want to live, right? They're not living a passive income lifestyle, or they're not able to travel, or they're not living in the house that you want in your dreams and on your vision board. So really, it's just a matter of finding someone. You can't do this alone. You can try, you can watch all the YouTube videos you want. All you're going to do is get confused and get stuck in, all of the information. But you find someone that's doing what you want to do, and you do exactly what they've done, and you follow their lead. That's my little tip for you.
I love that. And why recreate the wheel when there's people who have been through it? They've made the mistakes. Why not learn from them? Great badassery bestowment, Amanda. So thank you for sharing everything that you've shared. And the second half of the podcast, I like sharing with what makes you a badass. And I use the acronym BADASS. And the first letter is B for book. What's a book that's made a huge difference in your life?
So I read Robert Kiyosaki, who actually Sharon Lecter wrote the book. No one really knows that.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
Oh yeah.
Who wrote it?
Yeah. Sharon Lecter.
See, you know everything. And by listeners, this chick is in everybody's life. So I was having lunch with Tim Story, who is Oprah Winfrey's life coach. Hi, Oprah. I love you. And I was talking about my podcast and he said, well, you need Amanda Williams on your show. I'm like, funny, Amanda, and because Amanda knows everything and you absolutely do. Okay. So keep going. So the non-Robert Kiyosaki book, go ahead.
Well, Sharon was like co-author, but she really did write the book. Sharon was my mentor for a little while. So Rich Dad Poor Dad, it made a huge influence on my life. I think I read that when I was 21 years old. And it just, what sunk in for me was everything that you own, everything that you have to turn it into an asset. It cannot be a liability. And if you want to buy a liability, you must buy assets that's going to pay for that liability. And so that was just a big book for me that's just always stuck in my head.
I love that you brought that up because we have some long-term rentals and our long-term rentals pay for our cars. And I got a fun car this year, or actually last year. And so our rentals are what pay for our liabilities. So very well said. Appreciate you saying that. All right. The first A in badass is advice. What's the best piece of advice you have ever received?
So it was from one of my very first bosses, again, 21 years old. I had just got to California. And every time I would go to her with anything or like a problem, she would always come back to me with, be your leader, make it happen. Be a leader, make it happen. Figure it out. And that's followed me through my years, right? Because, even when someone comes and works for me today, I'm like, have you researched the question that you're asking me? Have you put it into YouTube? Have you put it into Google? Like, make it happen. And so I continue to play that in my head as well. Be a leader, make it happen.
And you're definitely a leader. Definitely, sister. All right. The D in badass is drive. What drives Amanda Williams to be successful?
I'm obsessed with success. So gosh, I think for me, it's all about being able to live that lifestyle of freedom, but not only for myself, but for my family and my mom. And, my mom lives on a very small amount. I'm talking like under $1,000 a month, Social Security and pension. And it's up to me, to make sure that she's able to live a good lifestyle. So, I want to be the one that can say, hey, my mom's traveled the world with me and like, she's done all this for free, I've been paying for it, but that's what I like. And that's really, I think, what's keeping me going and driving me, just because I want to create that freedom lifestyle for not only us, but for my family as well.
And I have had the pleasure of meeting her. She is the sweetest lady on the planet. So bravo to you for taking care of her. The second A in badass is aspiration. I'm a big goal setter. So what is a goal you are currently working on?
So I'm 37. I'll be 38 next month. And the ship will sail.
I'm over a decade older than you. Damn, girl. Okay, keep going.
So my goal, and it's been my goal for a while, is to completely retire by the time I'm 40. And really, that's really funny because retirement is when your passive income exceeds what it takes you to live, right? So I guess we're already retired. But at the same time, I do have a very large passive income goal to hit by the time I'm 40. And if we hit that, which I know we will, it's $100,000 a month. I just want to make $100,000 a month and everything's wonderful. But I'm not going to stop working. I don't think I'll ever stop working.
I don't think you will ever stop working.
No, I love it.
Yes. And yeah, when you're like retire by 40, I'm like, girl, you ain't never retiring. But yes, that money goal is a good one. All right. The first S in badass is systems. What systems do you have in place to help you achieve success?
It's all about hiring the right people that have systems, because I am really bad at systems. So I have to hire those people that actually are good at them, and they can keep me in track and in line, because I'm a visionary. I'm a creative. I'm like, hey, let's go do this. But then like to build everything out to actually get there, that's where I need the help. So it's hiring those people that know how to do all of that. And for me, it's being able to keep my agents plugged in. So there is systems, right? Like we have weekly calls and keeping those agents plugged in and selling houses and helping them with everything that they need to run their real estate career. And I'd say something else that's really important is following a calendar. I live by my Google Calendar. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that's changed my life is anytime someone wants to talk to me, I send them my link. And I'm like, hey, unless it's an emergency, like, can you please just book on here? That way it goes directly onto my Google Calendar and we can have a great call for however long you need to have it for.
So how do you find the right people to work for this massive company, all these companies that you own? How do you find the right people to work for you?
People, this is going to sound bad, but like, I've never really advertised for positions. People just come to me. And I mean, social media, Facebook, most people have came to us via Facebook or referrals, oh my God, you've got to work with this person. They're amazing. My Leah, the coach that I've hired for my team, she came to me last year and she was like, I love your lifestyle. You're living in Mexico. I want to work for you. And I was like, awesome. What can you do? And she's like, I can coach your agents. And I'm like, cool, let's go. So, I pay her a salaried position and she coaches and trains all of my agents, and it's worked out beautiful. She's been with me for a year, and some of my agents are doing more in 1 month than they did their entire year at their full-time job. So that's the win.
Awesome. So the last S in badass is success. What does success mean to you?
Freedom.
Love it. Short and simple. Perfect. And how are you living that freedom life right now?
Just being able to go where you want, when you want. If you want to take a trip, go. Like, if you want to stay home and go to the beach, do it. Like, you have enough passive income coming in, or leveraged income, which is more of EXP style, is leveraged income, that you can do what you want to do. If you wake up that day and you don't feel like working, you still have money coming in. And I think that's the biggest mind shift that I had to do, is I had to make a conscious decision. 2 years ago, I made this decision that I'm only going to put my time and energy into stuff that's going to pay me more than one time. So therefore, that's when I quit personally selling houses, because if I sold a house, I only got paid one time. I don't want to do that anymore. I'd rather refer that business out and put my time towards things that I can get paid again and again and again on forever.
Thank you, Amanda, for being here. And again, one more time, the best way to find you is, what's the website?
So I am Amanda, the Traveling Realtor. I think just going to that website's great, but the link that you're going to share is so much better.
Okay, perfect. So thank you, Amanda. And that is all. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode. Now go out there and share your badassery. And don't forget, make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for listening to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. If you need more badassery, you can follow Jen Josie by visiting therealjenjosie.com or become a member of RAIN by registering on rainmastermind.com.